Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse, Frugally. I want to wish you a wonderful 2025. I am so glad that you have joined me today. I am transitioning my home from Christmas to winter, and I thought I would bring you along for a few DIY ideas, as well as a little peek at some of the things in my home that are more winter. I'm starting with this little tired wreath that I have had. It had some ornaments on it and they got broken over time. So I am just clipping off the ornament hangers and keeping the pine cones that are on there. And then I am simply going to fluff it up and add a few winter ornaments that I've had in my stash. I generally hang on my Christmas tree. And they are three of the same gentleman, and he is skiing or hiking or fishing. And I thought these would be fantastic for the winter season. I loved that pop of color. My house has burgundy shutters, so I thought that that would be pretty on the front door. And the pine cones already have a touch of white on them, so I thought that was perfect. So I am just using some florist wire, and I am wiring each of these three ornaments. And then I had some tulle in both a goldish color and the burgundy color, which matches my home perfectly. So I am just fluffing that up and adding that bow to the top. And that is all there is to it for this simple winter wreath. So look around and see what you have in your stash. You could find a couple of things that just kind of speak to winter. And I think that this came out really sweet. I could add snow to the greens and make that really winter, but I'm opting not to do that so that I can reuse this in the future if I want to. But that is all there is to item number 1. And so that takes me on to item number 2, which is not specifically winter, but I thought would be something lovely to do at the beginning of each year. If you have children or grandchildren and you would like to make a silhouette of their face, this is something that I have always wanted to do. I took my children to a professional once, and it was remarkable to see how she simply looked at their profile and using scissors, she cut it into a piece of paper. I am absolutely never going to have this ability to do that. So I am cheating here, and I am showing you an easy way to cheat. I am taking a watercolor paper, folding that in half so that I will have double, just because the background of my frame happens to be black and I want to cover that up a bit. So I'm just going to cut out that oval shape using the glass as my guide. And then once I have that paper, I can clean up my glass. I'm going to leave my silver frame not polished because I like that antique-y look. And then I'm also going to make another one in case you don't have a frame. They sell these little wooden heart shapes at the dollar store. I thought this could also be wonderful for Valentine's Day if you have somebody that you would like to just send a little something to. So again, I am just copying the shape of the heart onto the watercolor paper, and then I am going to Mod Podge that shape directly on. Before I continue, today's collaboration for the love of crafting is being hosted by Krista and Brenda, and their channels, as well as a playlist of everyone who's joined in, will be in my description box, so make sure to check it out. Then I am going to just use my finger sander, sand around the edges and make that nice and smooth. And then you could do whatever you wanted here, but I decided to take some ink and to go around the edges using a little bit of a distressing on the outside edge to kind of make that shape pop. If you had red ink for Valentine's Day, this might actually be a really cool thing that you could do. And when you get to the picture itself, instead of using black, you could use red. That would be a very different variation on this. Now, my daughter's family opts not to put my granddaughter's face on social media, so I am not showing you the beginning, but all I did was take a picture and printed it on regular photo paper. So just any picture that you have, print it on photo paper and cut it out. Now you need the profile, obviously. Paint over the picture with black paint. Now, this is where I screw up. So this would be fine here to just Mod Podge over and you would be done. However, in the process, I smeared the black onto the white and I have to fix that. I do that by putting down some clear wax and then running over it with some dark wax and have to change the white background to gray, but that's better than having to redo the whole project. And then I used one of those thick wood rounds that look like a Christmas ornament, and I made another one basically with the same process, this time painting the edge of this with black paint so that that would have a nice finished look. Mod Podged again the same picture onto the front of that, Mod Podged over the entire thing, and then on the two ornament styles I just added some black velvet ribbon, and then on the picture frame I opted to make a bow out of the velvet ribbon and add that to the front of the picture frame. And I love the way these came out. I can't wait to do this again as my granddaughter ages so that we can see the difference in her facial features over the years. And I think that that's a wonderful gift, either for Valentine's Day or for Christmas or for any time, really. And so let me know what you think about this and whether or not you are going to try this silhouette project. I think that I'll get better and better as time goes by. Here is my children when they are 5 and 9, and I love the way this looks, so I will try to make it a little bit more detailed as time goes by. So let me know what you think about this project, and that takes me on to another winter project. I have this picture hanging over my fireplace, and it is quite large, and I think I had gotten it at the Christmas tree shop years ago. Several months ago, I found this at the dump on the good table, and it was a little bit broken. I'm not sure what its original purpose was, but this lettering does kind of pop right off. So I pulled that off of this and then filled the holes that were left behind with some filler and then matched with kind of a gray paint wash over that to try to make that as close as I could to the background color. I took a photograph of the picture hanging over my fireplace. I brought it to my Word document and I split it in 4. And I printed each of the 4 sections on 4 separate pieces of rice paper because it was so large. And I knew that having the frayed edges was not going to make much of a difference in this picture because what I was going to put on top of it. And then once I had those 4 printed, I just took some water on a paintbrush and went around the outside edge, leaving some of the dark color as a frame, and then I just Mod Podged each of those 4 pieces down onto this paper. Now onto this wooden board. I opted not to paint the back of these white. You could if you really wanted this picture to pop, but I wanted to have a little bit of that darker gray tone in the back of this. After I get all 4 of these lined up and Mod Podged on, I am taking the greeting card that my daughter gave me for Christmas, which was my inspiration for this craft, and I am cutting out the sweet little snow globe that is on the top of it, and then of course I have to glue the whole thing back together again because, I've now separated the pieces. So I just used both some wood glue as well as some hot glue to make this stay. Using the little house inside of it as my guide, I went out and just found a graphic of a primitive country tall thin house and printed that just on regular white paper because this one I did want to have a little bit more definition of the house in the background. And then I am going to just Mod Podge that and put that over the area on my paper that I want to cover up. So here I'm covering a good part of the way where these 4 pieces meet, so I think that that helps. And then also I had that cursor from my computer on my screen when I was printing, and it showed up on 2 places, so I'm just going to cover over those with some dark gray and then some white paint, which I want to pull out anyways because I want to add some snow and a snow line, again covering up where those 4 meet, but also giving this more definition as to the ground where the snow would fall. I also want to add in a little bit more snow where snow would be on the rooftop as well as the walkway. So here I'm covering up that silly cursor thing. And then after I get the dark color in there, I'll go over and lighten that up a little bit to make that more like the background so you can't see where that cursor is. So if you do happen to print, make sure you move the cursor off the page before you print. Then I'm going to just add a little bit more here and there, and once I get that finished, I am going to pop that little snow globe in the center to make it look as if this is the window. Then after I get some snow on the roof and a little bit of smoke coming out of that chimney, then I want to add a little bit more 3D to this since I do have the snow globe on there. So I have these pretty snowy picks, and I want to just make them look like trees. So I just added that to one side, and then I had some boxwood that have a touch of green and a touch of reddish tone in it. I thought would make nice little bushes in front of the house, pulling out yet a little bit more of that red, and then of course adding snow all over those. Then I just take some more white, and then I just add a little bit of almost steps coming down the front, and then just adding quite a bit more white. I just feel like it needs more white to pop this and make it a little bit more winter. And I understand this is probably not something that you would recreate, in that it is something specific to an item that I have, but don't overlook those things that you have, such as a greeting card, or such as, just this specific item that you got that you like just a piece of, and trying to think of a way that you can use it in an unusual way so that it can bring joy. I just think that it's sweet, and it reminds me of my daughter, and I just like the way that it came out here. So it's whimsical and fun for me, and I just thought it would be fun for you to see something a little bit more in the winter. That noise in the background is the hubby doing a bathroom remodel, which I will be showing you soon. But I thought you might like to see just a few pops of winter in my home, as I have taken down the bulk of Christmas. I have left up things like ice skates and trees and anything that speaks to snow. Snow globes and snow babies, skis if you have any skis. So that's just a lot of ideas that I like. Some pine cones. I left up the bells, took down the Christmas word. Anything that you have that have snowmen on them, anything in the woodland themes such as deer or buck are always great throughout the winter as well. Neutral things such as that paper tree made out of a book page. So really those are just kind of the things that go in my home. If it helps give you some ideas of things that you can collect, just keeping it neutral I think helps a lot over the winter. When I think of winter, I think of wood tones. I think of creamy colors with a touch of green, maybe some gold if you have gold in your home. So thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.